Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here's the Z107.7 Local News for Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. A man on parole was arrested for investigation into domestic violence. On Friday, San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies responded to a report of a woman being attacked by her boyfriend at a home in the 3900 block of Greasewood Drive in Yucca Valley. Deputies say that Casey Wilkerson, 37, was in a verbal argument with his girlfriend. Deputies say the victim tried to escape from Wilkerson in her car, but he began punching the windows, lights, and body of the vehicle. Deputies say Wilkerson grabbed the victim's hair and struck her head. Deputies say Wilkerson was taken into custody at the home and the victim was treated on scene for injuries. Wilkerson was found to be on probation in Riverside County. Casey Wilkerson was arrested for investigation into charges related to domestic violence and violating probation and is being held at the West Valley Detention Center without bail. A convicted felon was arrested for allegedly spraying bear spray toward people outside Yucca Valley Town Hall. On Sunday at around 12:24 p.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies responded to Yucca Valley Town Hall regarding a man threatening bystanders with bear oleorin capsicum, more commonly known as bear spray. Deputies say they arrived and witnessed Aaron Zimmerman, 60, running towards the diversion canal. Deputies say they caught up with and detained Zimmerman, that he matched the description of the suspect, and he was found to have a red canister suspected to be bear spray in a grocery bag. The victim told deputies that Zimmerman pointed the canister of bear spray towards their car from about 10 feet away. Zimmerman was found to be a convicted violent felon, most recently convicted of assault with a stun gun or taser, and as such, he is prohibited from being in possession of any weapon, including bear spray. Aaron Zimmerman was arrested on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon and is being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $40,000 bail. Last night's 29 Palms City Council meeting packed the Freedom Plaza Gymnasium with residents who voiced strong opinions about the proposed Ofland Resort project. Reporter Heather Clisby was there and joins us with this report.
With passions running high on both sides of the issue, the 29 Palms City Council heard from nearly 40 residents and business owners regarding the proposed Ofland Resort. After nearly 3 hours, the council approved the resolution enabling development of the 100-cabin resort east of Indian Cove neighborhood. Relocating the meeting to the gymnasium at Freedom Plaza was a wise move, as there were approximately 100 to 150 interested citizens in attendance. The usual speaker time allotment of 3 minutes was reduced to 2 minutes for expediency. Of the speakers, 17 were in favor of the project and 22 were either against it outright or were asking to return it to the city's planning commission for further review. Ofland Director of Acquisitions Luke Searcy gave an overview, emphasizing that the project had a 38% reduction in square footage from the original October 2023 plan. He stressed benefits to residents, hiring local contractors and workers, 35 to 40 full-time jobs with on-site housing, up to $800,000 in tax revenue, access to the resort restaurant and pool, with discounts for military personnel and families. Searcy noted plans to protect the night sky and encourage guests to, quote, turn right on the highway and explore restaurants and shops downtown. The 152-acre parcel is located south of 29 Palms Highway, east of Lear Avenue, north of Sullivan Road, west of Shoshone Valley Road. Ofland will develop 42 of those acres, and 110 acres would be set aside for conservation. Council approval came as a general plan amendment to create the Open Space Conservation Land Use Designation, essentially a new zone, to redesignate the land from single-family residential to commercial tourist and open space conservation. Residents who voiced strong opposition to the resort cited concerns around threats to wildlife, traffic, noise, and light pollution. Others worried about a precedent of creating a new zone for developers, as well as future lawsuits against the city. By far the biggest question, for a project of this size up against a national park, why not an independent environmental impact report? Supporters, meanwhile, cited local jobs and economic growth with an eye toward future generations. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
The Yucca Valley Planning Commission considered a code interpretation for rebuilding significantly destroyed structures. Here is reporter Adeline J. Wells with that and more.
Last night's Yucca Valley Planning Commission meeting began with the consideration of a land use compliance review application by Las Palmas. Located at 57246 29 Palms Highway, the restaurant and bar requests to build a 1,075 square foot outdoor patio consisting of a dining area and an outdoor waiting area. Representative David Rodriguez was in attendance on behalf of the applicant, Arturo Las Palmas Investments. The commission followed town staff's recommendation and approved the application. All spoke favorably about the development and the benefits it would provide the community. Town staff then presented a request for development code interpretation regarding reconstruction timelines for non-conforming structures. A 2016 code amendment specified that homes with less than 75% damage must begin the reconstruction process within 12 months. The amendment allowed for the application of permits for homes with over 75% damage, but did not specify a required timeline for reconstruction. Deputy Town Manager Shane Stuckel clarified that it was town staff's interpretation that the 12-month time period applied to all structures regardless of damage level. While the item before the commission was for a development code interpretation, the request was in connection with a specific project. The request was submitted by Loescher Meacham Architects on behalf of their client, Yucca Valley resident Eric Linnert, who purchased a property located at 57460 Encilia Drive in 2021. The property is a single-family home located in an industrial zone and was destroyed in a fire in 2011. Architect Ben Loescher stated that significant structural damage exceeding 75% of the property poses severe obstacles to beginning reconstruction within 12 months. He argued that the clear absence of a timeline in the code would allow for necessary staff discretion. Linnert was in attendance and also spoke on behalf of his code interpretation.
In legal interpretation, where the law is silent on a specific issue, it is improper to import provisions from another section not intended to apply. Doing so would set a troubling precedent by imposing limitations where they were consciously excluded.
Several community members also spoke on behalf of Linnert's project, including Town Council member Robert Lombardo, who clarified that he was speaking as a private citizen.
I think that there should be the ability to hear a project and find a way to make it happen instead of finding ways to prevent it.
Following public comment, Chair Alejandro Vasconcelos noted that the agenda item was for a code interpretation, not specifically for Linnert's project. Linnert specified that he had to pay a $721 fee to request the development code interpretation, which he stated felt relevant in tying his project to the request. Commissioner James Henderson asked town staff if the town attorney had reviewed the code. They responded that he had not given any official legal guidance. Henderson explained that he thought the code did read as vague, allowing for misinterpretation and arbitrary application, and was in favor of amending the code to allow for a time frame as well as staff discretion. Commissioners Thomas and Vasconcelos largely agreed, with the latter expressing that 12 months seemed too short a time to address permits, financing, and insurance companies. Stuckel presented that town staff would bring the item to the town attorney for clarification on the intent behind the code and its required timelines, to which Commissioner Henderson reiterated his argument.
Looking at intent, looking at what's written are two different things. We have to go by what's written.
Lastly, town planner Jared Jerome presented the land development update. The Walmart fueling station, Dutch Brothers Coffee, and Sun Mesa mini storage projects are all in their CEQA review process. Circle K intends to bring forth a subdivision and street vacation application to the town, and the Tumbleweed Sanctuary application is tentatively scheduled for the second meeting in August. Starbucks West intends to begin construction in September. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Adeline J. Wells.
The Basin Transit Board of Directors meets in regular session tomorrow to consider approving shelter construction awards and replacing office facilities. The board will recognize their Employee of the Quarter and receive department reports and public comment. The Basin Transit Board of Directors meets in regular session on Thursday at 4 p.m. at their office at 62405 Verbena Road in Joshua Tree. And finally, Theater 29's wildly successful Summer Youth Theater program culminates with 4 days of performances this week. The public is invited to see Willy Wonka the Musical Kids, featuring younger kids, and Willy Wonka the Musical Junior, featuring teens. Theater 29's Summer Youth Theater program features 54 kids and 10 staff members. They've been hard at work learning lines, rehearsing music and choreography, trying on costumes, painting sets and props, and learning the lighting and soundboards. Performances begin tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. and continue Friday and Saturday with matinee performances on Sunday. Tickets are $10 each. For the full schedule and to purchase tickets, visit theater29.org. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmetz.